I was making 60K a year, had a stable income coming in. I took a risk to be a barber.
I fell in love with being a barber more when I was selling cars. Because I used to sell cars.
The Lamborghini was only better because they have the new motor in it.
Does it go when you turn? I don't know. Because if it don't do that, I don't fucking want it, bro.
Let's get fun here, bro.
Then let's start right away, cause fuck.
We're already rolling. We're already 10 minutes in.
Oh yeah, fuck. This is the video right here, yo. Listen.
Fuck barbershop talk. We're talking about relationships.
Have fun today.
Welcome back to season 1, episode 7. We're here today with Fades Barbershop. We got
Vinny.
RK.
Blends by Didi.
And Farzam.
Today we're gonna talk about what it takes to operate a barbershop, the steps behind it, how, you know, behind the scenes of owning a barbershop, and whatever else there is to talk about today. Just before this podcast recorded, we were just talking about values, and let's talk about that. We got the topic warm on
That's
that.
true. Like the values will kind of show you what the values of the shop are, right? Like
Yeah,
Definitely, man.
it
those
does.
values open up, you know, in your shop. So
100%. It definitely carry forward into a barbershop. So
Definitely.
what would you guys say when you guys open up a barbershop? What was it you guys were specific about in terms of
I think our
what you
core,
want?
our core values were like respect, honesty, transparency, stuff like that. Building relationships with the clients, building relationships with your staff.
Would you agree with that?
Repeat the question, bro.
What would you say like some of the values that you guys brought into that? I'm assuming.
What are
Yeah,
your
the values are just sticking consistency. Be patient.
yeah,
That's another big value, that being patient as a barber is most important. Then time pays off,
yeah.
and then respect for sure. Communication, setting a good vibe in the shop. That's ground rules,
Yeah.
just to make sure that everybody loves to stay in the shop, everybody loves to work in the shop, or everybody come as a
Client
client,
attention.
That's it.
So would you guys like say that when you opened up the shop, you guys kind of like made sure your values connected
In a
before
sense.
you kind of were like, yo, we're going in this together as brothers. you know?
100%. Like in the beginning, me and him worked here for a year. Okay. And in that year, me and RK, we built that relationship, right? We discussed opening up a shop together. I think going into business with anyone, you gotta make sure your core values align before you
For sure.
do anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want that reflecting in your business, like you guys talked about,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, because I remember being at the shop one time, and I remember the original guy that owned the shop.
Yeah.
And I spoke to him. So when you guys took over, like,
Mhm.
how did he start to see your guys' values and see that you wanted this? Like, was he like, hey, you guys can take this shop? Like,
I think for like, I'm not, RK can speak on his own behalf, but like for myself, I think the previous owner and myself, our values kind of aligned. Even the first day I came for an interview,
Nice.
we just clicked right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Because we understood each other. I think when you meet someone for the first time and you speak with them for like a minute or so, you understand their vibe, their character, and like for me, it's like their heart posture, like where their heart's at. And it was very genuine. Yeah, it's very giving, very kind,
nice.
and I think that kind of translated, and our relationship kind of like grew.
Carries forward into the barbershop, and then you
100%.
end up attracting the same
Yeah.
barbers. So now it makes sense why you two decide to open up now.
Yeah.
Well, not now. What is it, like 4 or 5 months ago?
4 months now.
4 months in now. Yeah, it's been good. Just the way that game, same thing. We started like a day difference, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even know each other.
100%.
We never met before. We didn't even know each other at all. The first day, I started a day before him.
Yeah.
But he was already talked to Gabe about getting hired up here. And then I started, and the next day I came in, and he walked in, and he's like, he was like, oh, it's the other barber who joined. I said, okay, that's it. And then he's like, okay. And then I kind of figured out he's from the same nationality as background as me too. But until he start talking in Punjabi with me, bro. Game over from there.
I just
Yeah,
noticed his
I'm
earrings,
like,
bro. I'm like,
so
this guy looks
it's
very
all about
Indian.
Gabe knew that bringing brown boys in, he's the shop mate.
100%.
The Brown Boys will take it over.
No, we took over, so
No,
that's what it is.
Well, and that's a big part of it too. Like you guys are from the same culture, so those values
Exactly.
do align, right?
100%.
You guys understand how to treat your elders. You guys understand how to treat your brothers.
Yeah.
How to build something together, right?
That's what it is.
So that's really cool. Like
Oh,
even when I
definitely.
came here the first time, like I saw so many like young newer gen kids that were here, like kids that were like maybe 14, 13, and you guys were giving so many blowout fades, you know, and some of the sickest blowout fades. So
That's it,
come check them out for that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like when I see these kids, I'm like, damn, like if I work at a shop with so many young kids and I'm that guy that's influencing them to be a man, like
Yeah.
I gotta really keep myself in check, you know.
Exactly.
That's actually a really good point,
Sometimes I'm like talking and I'm like, yeah, dude, like you know what I'm talking about? Sometimes like freaking out and fuck, man. And I'm like, oh wait, this kid's like 10 years old. I said an
100%.
F word, F bomb, you know?
No, sometimes
So
it
how do you guys
happens.
catch yourselves in moments like that?
So usually, like, I get the most kids,
Yeah.
all
I'd say
the
our kid does, yeah.
teenagers, all
Yeah.
the after 10 blowout tapers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get a lot of it, right? But the same thing, setting the good,
Intentions.
intentions,
Mm.
talking to them. I have this one client, he's, I think 14, 15, and she's like a single mom, you know.
Yeah.
Then same thing, they're very nice, so I try to make sure that I teach him stuff or tell him stuff that helps him to grow
Yeah.
as a man, you know, and not just being a teenager. Just to understand, especially being a single parent, sometimes it's hard for the mom, and
Yeah.
it's hard for her to understand, right? So sometimes I just talk to him, try to make sure that he understands what she's trying to say to him.
Nice.
It's not about like I want to sell stuff. You know, you're in a barber shop.
Yeah.
All the styling products, I'll sell it to you.
Yeah.
But same thing, if the mom is saying that she has it already, and even if the kid wants it, I tell him, shit, bro, if you have it, you don't need to buy it. You know, you have it already at home. You don't need to spend money extra for stuff that you already have.
Trying to big brother the guy, you know?
Yeah, trying to be brother.
Unconsciously too, though.
Yeah.
Because like once you have those kids in your chair, I feel like once you start having those kids in the chair, and you see like these kids are actually curious about growing, then you're gonna big brother them.
Yeah.
right?
That's it
for sure.
But I have felt it a lot of the times with all the teenagers. Seems like I'm the big brother and talking to them about just normal life, bro. How they're doing, how's school.
Sometimes you feel like you have to like be super cool just to get these kids as a cool.
Bro, you have
Yeah.
to be super cool. You
I
have
hit the
to
gym.
that.
You know, like
Hey, that's true.
That's what it is. Well, there is some experiences back. He had a barber before. He was trying to be super cool and make sure the other barbers are not super cool, you know. That's it. So, but at the end of the day, you set your example. You know, as long as you be nice, you have ground rules, and then you say down to earth. You know, and that's all it matters.
Nice. Those are solid principles to have as a barbershop, right?
That's it.
Caring, because you can make the biggest influence in anybody's day. I wanted to bring up to that point where you were talking about not just selling. I could sell you all the products in the in the world, but at the end of the day, you are selling your brand, but you're selling a feeling. Because once people walk into the shop, bro, you see the layout, you're just like, okay, this is sick. This is,
That's what
I could see I could see a 25, 22-year-old just sitting here. Just this would be his main shop, you know.
That's it.
He's telling all his boys. So you guys are establishing the community in Bonas, and you're establishing that feeling. As soon as you come to the Fades
The
Barbershop.
feeling of trust, I would say that we try to create just so they know that if I'm trying, usually I don't tell them to buy anything. They are the one asking me what should I get. So having that trust that they trust me to try something new or let's say a different style or something too. I only tell them what is actually good for them, not what is good for me or which is easier for me to do, you know?
what I tell my guys is I'm like, listen, like you can buy all the products you want, but if you don't put like that 5 minutes into making your hair,
100%.
your hair, there's no point in you buying a 5, 10
That's
different products. Right?
That's definitely it's
right?
not gonna help at all.
So that's a big part of it. What do you guys think like your clientele is like? Like what's your clientele base like?
It's very mixed, I would say.
Yeah.
Anywhere from kids to like elderly, right? It's a
Nice.
very wide range,
Okay.
which is nice. It keeps us on our toes as well.
We have cut from we can 8 months old kid
Yeah.
to 80 to 85 to 90-year-old guy too.
And
So-
stresses in between all those numbers.
Yes.
right?
100%.
Well, our shop is more focused about cutting hair and giving the quality. Doesn't matter who comes.
Cool.
So having that modern touch to it, it doesn't tell the old school people that we can't cut old school haircuts. We do cut old school haircuts.
Yeah.
Every kind of texture doesn't matter. We are open to. We are not strictly by only modern or young crowd. We are going for the older ones.
And for you, like you two both different barbers in the same shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what would your clientele be like compared to him? Like,
I think my clientele is more so on like the older side, like the more businessmen,
More gentleman.
gentlemen look,
Tough guys.
tough guys here and there. I have my own friends that come, you know what I mean?
you know, they're
like
tough
the-
guys until they start breaking down in the chair. You know, telling me about so
100%, like a story.
That's it.
But like RK said, we like to have a wide range of clientele, right? Like we want to cater to everyone, just because like we don't specialize in one style.
Okay.
If you want like a blowout, we can do a blowout. If you want like a comb over with the number one, no
Mhm.
problem, right?
Yeah.
See, that's how business should be, you know. If you're in a barbershop, you're not supposed to be picky. You're supposed to be every person who walks in.
Oh, for sure.
We should be the one who knows what they get. Yeah, and they're asking for something.
So like, if you guys were to get somebody in with like really long hair, who would be the one to direct? Like, you would take that?
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Like usually it depends. Like he's very good with the scissor trims. Depends
Okay.
how long it is. Like
Yeah.
we used to get some kids, like girls and everything,
Mm.
to trim it, but it doesn't work out for us because this is a barber shop.
Yeah.
And then we are not thinking as a hairstylist, so we do something and they don't like it, so we stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know, we are more focused on only care, any kind of men's only.
Yeah,
It's kids, guys, boys, any
Yeah.
kind of it. No any long hair, because you know guys are not picky about even if they have long hair.
Yeah.
They just need a trim, you know, just to make it healthy. But girls are more specific of what kind of layers they want, something like that. It happened with you too.
Yeah. So we used to get a lot of women that used to come to the shop.
Oh, really? eh?
Yeah. And surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah. So now we specify. We just say no to them rather than doing something that they don't end up liking it and then leaving us a bad review. We start saying,
It's better to be honest. If like if we
Oh,
don't
of course.
understand, like
yeah, that's
I want a 45-degree cut with layers and like
That's it.
this and that.
That's
It's
the
like
whole
okay, we can.
But yeah, a lot of people walk in with those expectations, and they
100%.
They gotta understand, like you're not getting like a barber from like you're not getting the barber on Instagram. You're getting the barber that's in the shop, right?
No, definitely.
So you're coming in here asking for this, that. Like there's a lot of things that a lot of barbers are like, or we're still working on things, right?
Definitely.
Directions and what we do, right?
But it's our job
it's
as a
like-
barber to like educate them, because they'll come in, like you get these 10-year-olds, 14-year-olds, yo, let me get a blowout taper with the texture fringe, blah blah blah. They hear this shit on
Instagram,
IG,
Yeah.
TikTok. They think they're a
Yeah.
fucking sorry.
They're the
They
guys.
think that they're a barber,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know what's funny?
and it's like
Every time a kid sits on Vinny's chair, he knows that he
I already know.
you know what he says?
of course.
He's like, "What do you want, blow taper?"
That's what I
Because
do.
you know, because when they come in, they have a mop on their head, but what else are you gonna get? You're not gonna get a buzz cut, dog.
Every time there's a kid sitting on top of his chair and he's like 10 plus, and he just straight up says, "Oh, you want a blow paper?"
And they give you that little smirk.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's so funny.
Dude, I used to work with another guy. And every time somebody would walk in with an Edgar cut, and he'd call him like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?" And they'd be like, he'd be like, "Edgar, right?" Like he straight up called them Edgar before they'd even say their name. He was like, "Edgar, why Edgar?" And he said, "Oh, never mind. Just sit down. Just have a seat."
yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So where do you want to take it?
I was gonna say, what are the biggest challenges you guys have learned in the 4 months that you guys have been together now, from the business perspective and then from personal perspective?
I think for us, it's like more so on the business side of things. On like day-to-day operations, running back end, running ads, making sure our staff is fully booked, making a website, stuff like that, like back end stuff.
Yeah.
I would say doing proper taxes,
Yeah.
opening out bank accounts, stuff like that, right? Like you want to make sure you're on your 10 toes. Has to be good. You don't want to be scrambling around
Yeah.
but it takes time, right?
So I remember talking to you a little earlier. You were actually saying that like you guys are looking for somebody to come help you guys out as a shop, right? So you guys are looking for maybe a new barber, somebody that actually knows what he's doing a little bit, that still wants to grow. Right?
Exactly.
So for you guys, like, what would the process be if I wanted to come to the shop and be like, hey, I want to work with you guys. I'm really like inclined to work with Fades Barbershop. I live next door, right? So how would you give that kid some direction, or like how can we reach out to you if we want to find a job?
You can go through our Instagram page. You can
Perfect.
DM us directly. You can call the shop. I would prefer if you come in person.
Yeah.
You can understand the person's vibe, right?
Very true.
By meeting them, how they talk.
So do you guys also do like maybe bring somebody in and do a haircut?
We would prefer. Yeah, if
Okay.
you can do like a practice cut or like a test cut.
Perfect.
I wouldn't call it a test or anything, but it's just to see what you.
And what was that IG, by the way?
Fades Barbershop.
Fades Barbershop?
I'll plug that into the video.
Yeah.
So it's Fade Barbershop YYC.
Yeah, so if you guys are a barber and you have some experience and you're looking for some work, Fades Barbershop Bonus, reach out please, because they need extra guys and we got hair to cut. So
We got 2 vacant chairs right now.
yeah, so we have 2 vacant chairs. So yeah.
What does it take to? How can you determine the right barber that fits in your environment?
I think
Is
it's
it only skill, or is it your personality, like you said earlier?
a mix of both, but it's your determination. Are you willing to work? Are you willing to put in the hours? When me and RK first started, we would literally sit here on the chairs for months. We would just wait until someone came, right? It takes time to build a clientele.
Oh, for sure.
So I think patience and determination, willing to learn, stuff like that. Like
Yeah, it's in every shop too. And no shop will be that busy that builds you like 10 clients, 10 walk-ins a day, you know. Which usually like if you're working like 6 barbers or 5 barbers, it splits, walk-in splits, right? And then giving the walking to a new barber, and then it's up to the barber who, if he is willing to make them a client, right? So all they need to be is making sure their haircuts are good, communication is good, and they dress up professional. It's not like they're looking like a hood rats or something and just they're walking around in the shop.
That's the thing, man. Professionalism goes a long way in barbering.
Definitely.
Because like a lot of us barbers, we're like lazy, dude. We just want to come to work, cut hair, go home.
That's
You know what I mean? I've gotten in heat for like coming in my sweats and like of a windbreaker and being like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just work. But we gotta still maintain that like professionalism. Like Didi, he always dresses nice.
No,
you know?
definitely.
It's simple, but it still looks very good. You know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%. So it sounds like the barber that you want would have a kind of an entrepreneur mindset.
100%.
At the end of the day, barbers, we have to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to take care of our mannerisms, our professionalism, our determination, all the little values. So you can't just find a regular walk-in barber who's
That's what I mean. Who's willing to adapt according to the shop and learn from it too.
Well, listen,
right?
let me ask you a question. Like, if you were to get somebody tomorrow, right? Let's say if they were a pretty good barber, they had some skill, you know, and they had a little bit of a clientele, so they want to come work with you. What do you guys think about a concept of like a contract? Like, if someone were to come work with you, the biggest thing about barbering is our trouble is to keep our barbers
secured
for a while. Like, we want to keep our barbers here for, you know what I mean, like 2-3 years before they leave and do their own thing. So do you guys think it's like okay to have a contract where like you're like, hey, I want you to be here for 5 years. This is what you're gonna pay, what your pay is gonna be like. This is how it's gonna increase. You got to give me this many days or before you quit type thing.
It depends on the person, I guess, right? At the end of the day, if they're willing to stick it out, like I said, determination. You'll find out right away if they're willing
But
to
the
learn,
only
right?
thing is that when it's a busy barber, let's say you come to a new shop. I'm talking about myself. How I joined. I had a little bit, just the example that you asked, right? I had a little bit of the experience, little bit. I had a clientele from, I used to cut in my basement before, right? So I had a little bit of client that followed me up here. But same thing, you have to be consistent. You have to be set up in the shop and then keep cutting. That's the whole point. If you move around too much, then you can't make money because not everybody will follow you. Because let's say if I take I'm new barber, I take 10 new clients in a week, right? And then I made them my client. Out of 10 clients, only like 2 or maybe 5 will follow me, right? Not everybody will follow because it's all about being the neighborhood barbershop. Is easier for them to come here rather than going somewhere else.
A lot of it is convenience.
Convenience,
for sure.
yes. Convenience is the big
The
thing.
average person,
That's it.
the average client.
So I have seen all the busy barbers. They are sticking to the same shop until they open their own shop. You know, you guys are barbers too. We are barbers. We know a lot of barbers, but it's always better to stick with the same shop. Do your own marketing. Stand up on your feet as well. Don't be leaning on the shop to pump you clients. Yes, shop helps, but if you want to be a successful barber, you have to do your marketing.
Yeah.
So now my question to that is, what ends up happening if you guys found a barber, you molded him into, what you guys wanted, amazing barber. Now his skill set is like up here. But now, let's say a year and a half later, he wants to transition into opening up his own shop. So you guys as barbershop owners, you guys have to take that in consideration.
100%.
So how do you guys approach that? Because like this guy has potential. Do you kind of like pull him back?
As shop owners and like for being individual like barbers,
Yeah.
I think it's nice to see, right? Like
Yeah.
you feel proud.
For sure.
Because you want them, at the end of the day, man, we want everyone to be their own person, right? I think every barber wants to be their own boss, have their own shop. Everyone has that dream of opening up. That's how me and RK were, right?
Yeah. But same thing now, after being the barbershop owners, we understood that it's not easy to own a barbershop.
100%.
There's a lot of responsibility comes to it. Some of the, like, let's say social media barbers, they are fully booked and they think they can own a shop.
Yeah.
It doesn't work if you don't have the
Completely
if you don't have the management skills to manage people or how to run the day-to-day stuff that goes around. You can't handle the stress of.
But what a lot of people don't realize is like these barbers are like, yo, I'm getting paid $100 for a cut, right? And it's like, yeah, you're getting paid $100 for a cut, but how many haircuts are you doing in a day? You know what I mean? Like if I'm charging 35 for a cut and I'm doing 2 clients in one day, plus tips, I'm making more than the $100 a cut. You know what I mean? Like if they both tip you well, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, sometimes you can even fit 3 haircuts. Some 0.5, how fast can you do a 0.5
Exactly.
haircut? Bro,
All
0.5 and
depends
done.
too,
Give me 5 minutes.
I was just watching this video on Instagram this morning about one of the barber, other barbershop owners try to manipulate other barbers' mindset. Nowadays, that you should not own a shop. You should keep working as a barber, up your prices, this and that, So he was talking about that it's not worth it for a barber to own a shop just because let's say if you're a fully booked barber and you're making 10K a month, if you want to push it to a next level rather than owning a shop, you should bump up your prices, right? But same thing, it has to be where you're sitting. If you're in a city that all the other barbershops are more cheaper and then you will get the same haircuts, yes, you can get that vibe right, you can have that relationship with the clients, but it always comes to the point that you have to have a good pricing just so it runs all around Calgary. Yes, in Calgary there you will see other shops, and go to Northeast, there is a different pricing there. Onto Northwest there is different pricing. Go
Every
to
community has their own
every
standard.
community has their standards, right?
Standard of skill, standard of price.
That's what it is. But you won't get quality in Northeast much as
That's the
if
thing.
compared to downtown or Northwest, right? So if people are willing to travel for quality, I have a lot of good amount of clients from Northeast coming up here in Bonas, which is like almost 40 minutes drive from Northeast, right? But they are the ones who like the quality, not just cutting in within like half an hour. You're doing haircut and be it,
Those are some solid points there. For this point, we want to introduce our middle segment. It's called Unclipped. So this is a series of rapid fire questions. So we'll start off with the first one. Would you rather have a client critique your work and give you immediate feedback, or have someone who does it
Right away.
right away, give you feedback right away?
right away as well, and tell me what's wrong with the haircut and how I can change it just to make sure that it looks perfect.
Or at least if you can give them a discount,
Give them a discount, right? There would be sometimes you feel it hasn't happened much with me, but there was some chances, like if the client doesn't like the haircut or there's something wrong, they usually just make a mad face and then just sit there.
That doesn't help.
That doesn't help, and I usually ask them, what do you change? What do you want to change? If there is something that I can change and make it look good, what you are expecting, that helps a lot. That I would say having a right away opinion and then tell me what's wrong and then how you want to change. Usually guys are pretty good with that.
Communication is very important.
Communication. Usually they tell you right away what they want to change, just because unless you fucking bust their head. That's not do anything, that's it.
Okay, those are solid answers.
What's the one thing every new barber does that drives you crazy? That's a good one.
Like new barber does?
Yeah, let's say you hire a new guy. And you're like, I want to fire this guy right now.
I think consultation.
Consultation.
I think it's not done correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't actually didn't think about that one, but that's a good one. Okay, consultation. Okay, is there like certain things like do they not even start with the consultation?
I think the process of doing
The
it.
process of it. Okay.
If they immediately just rush into it, kind of thing.
Okay. or they just expect they want a skin fade and it's just fucking give them a straight skin fade.
Yeah, concentration is good. Not it. Sometimes you learn from the other barbers working around you too. That's what I was just talking to you about. The other barber he used to work with us, right? So he taught me a lot, right? So concentration was the main thing that helped me to gain that clientele and asking the right questions. And the right away, I have felt it too. Every time I ask the right question, people just surprise. Oh, this is so good. Like he understand what I'm talking about, you know. So yeah, concentration is a very good
Problem solving for sure.
yeah. So another thing that for a new barber I would say is usually they don't dress up accordingly. You know,
Coming in with baggy stuff.
baggy stuff.
Sweats.
It depends, you know. Like if the person is, let's say you come to a new barber shop, yeah, because of the way that you dress up yourself.
I'm hired.
You hide, right? Because the way that you present yourself.
Yes, fair enough.
Like same thing when I came here, I make sure that I dress up nice when I'm presenting myself too. I don't want the first opinion for myself to be the last one, right?
That's the piece of this gig.
That's it, right? So
Okay, yo, the next question here. So if a client came in, got a haircut, and was like, "Yo, can you shave my whole back?" Would you do it? And how much would you charge them?
no, we don't do that.
No, you don't want to shave his back.
No, we don't. We don't touch.
Somebody's
not
not.
anything. Anything lower than the neck.
Oh yeah, you got come here to do that. You're gonna talk to me, bro. I'm telling you.
Sorry, let's not
Go to the vaccine lady, bro. Don't come.
It's not that type of bad dog.
Like I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, so we're not shaving your back.
That's it.
Not at all.
So you meant, sorry, what were you saying?
Bring the wax strips too. That.
You get them ready, bro.
Maybe RK will do.
No, I'm not gonna do
No,
it.
I love how they both were on point with that answer.
Right.
On to the next.
That's why they're businessmen.
RK has nothing else to say about that one.
So you mentioned something about tapers, fade or taper. Which one actually separates an amateur from a professional?
I think they're taper's a fade too, but
Yeah.
it depends. I guess whatever your clients wants, right? You can't really argue with I had a gentleman today. His brother wanted him to do a high skin fade, but he wanted a taper,
Yeah.
right? So and then we're like, what does the client want? I understand the brother's like, oh, you gotta pay for it then yourself. He's like, okay, cool, I'll pay for it. So we ended up doing the taper. The taper looked nice. You know what I mean? It's whatever satisfies the client at the end of the day. It's not my job to be like, oh, I can give him my suggestions and tell him this might look good. But taper, if he wants a taper, I'm doing a taper, right?
So my rebuttal to that, a fade requires for the whole head to be done,
Yes.
whereas taper is just a section.
Yes.
So you're kind of cheating the rest of the haircut.
I wouldn't say
Not cheating. That's not the right
It's
word.
because you still gotta blend the top to the
100%.
bottom, right?
Yeah.
You can do a taper midway. Then if you have long hair, you still gotta clip or comb. Then you gotta do
Sheer work.
I
work.
know this is your guys' question, but I personally want to answer it myself.
Yeah.
I think though, like a fade is so much harder because once you get to the back of the head, that's the hardest part to fade. Like the sides are easy. You can fade the sides,
But the back is always the
2 minutes. You
catch.
yeah, it's
That's
so dense. You got to raise the fade, or you got to
100%.
clip it, or you got bumps. So
But to answer your question, I would say fade.
yeah, fade.
Yeah, but I would say both because it depends on the style that the person has. Because finding the person if he's amateur or like a teenager or early 20s or a 40-year-old, it's all about the style that if it's a combo over, taper looks good.
Yeah.
Normal fade looks good. If it's a messy texture, then you can tell it's casual.
Yeah.
Right? Usually 30 plus old guys always go for the gentleman's looks, nothing casual.
Yeah.
Being cut.
Until they go like a normal shorter hair like mine, more easier for them to maintain, you know, that's how
Next question. What haircut exposes a barber's skill the fastest? So somebody, let's say my example for me, I'm really weak at skin fades. I'm not weak, but I know my timing is really, I could be faster. Yeah. So that's something that exposes my skill.
I think it depends on an individual basis, right? Like RK, he's sick at blowouts. You come to me to a blowout, bro. I'll do it, but I'm not the quickest. You know what I mean? So I think my weak points are doing blowout tapers.
Okay.
Can I bang them out? 100%. Do they look good? Yeah. But if I'm critiquing myself and saying, what do I need to get better on? I would say blowout tapers. For
If you were to say there was a standard for like every barbershop that you could tell, a haircut that would expose if this person's really good or not, what would it be?
I think
A comb over?
not even that. I think it's just depending on the person. You can tell by how someone holds the clippers, how their shear work is, right? Sectioning. I feel like a lot of barbers don't section. They're very sloppy.
how they start a fade. Because starting a fade will tell me exactly if I'm asking you to do a mid fade, if you started wrong, I will know where you're standing. If you started already high, then I know that you're not doing a mid fade, right? If you're starting or in between the fade, let's say if it's a mid fade, the shadow's supposed to be on the C cup. Just so I have mid fade right now, right? So if this shadow is too high and there is not enough shadow and it's going high, that says a lot of things about the barber, that he doesn't have control on his hand.
Oh yeah,
But everyone does cut differently. Right?
Yes,
You can't just say,
Take that into consideration.
100%, right? You can do a mid fade so many ways, right?
Yeah.
But
But yeah, also with the barber, like it's not just one scale. We got
100%.
razor work, we got like dapper work, we got scissor work, we got clipper over comb. You know, there's so many different techniques that we get to work with, right?
Yeah, right.
So-
Nowadays, there's so many custom haircuts that everybody likes to do. You know, it's not just the combo overs and everything. It's
Yeah.
all about custom haircuts. And let's say if I'm a barber, if I'm sitting on somebody's chair, I just got a cut today. So why I'm happy with it? Because I know what I was looking for in the person. A lot of kids now knows what a blowout taper looks like and what are they usually show a picture.
But no, that's the cool thing, man. With social media, they already know what they want.
100%.
That's it.
It's so hard when someone comes to the shop and they're like,
Yeah.
I don't really know what I want.
Yes.
You can do what you want. I have more trouble figuring out what I want to do for somebody when you ask me do what you want. Because I'm like, oh, now I feel like I might shoot too high or I might shoot too low, right? But for me personally, I love the fact that like hair is a lot longer now and people are like growing out their shit.
Yeah.
Because fades look good, very clean, but at the same time, everyone having this really cool flow. Because like a lot of people are bald, man. A lot of people losing hair. So like when you have all that flow, as a barber, it's so much more fun to cut.
Definitely more creative.
It gives you a challenge to understand the different textures.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed too. It's once you start understanding the shear work and the sectioning, you start knowing like long hair and how to work with it. You really can see what you messed up on if you've developed your eye, if you developed that skill set. So there's a lot of creative flow. Next question there.
What kills a barbershop faster, ego or lack of standards?
Both.
Both?
I would say both.
Okay.
Yeah, ego, I would be more thinking about like the person. Let's say if you're a fully booked barber and you're coming to the shop and then you just being egoistic that you are the one, everybody around you is just, lower than you. That says a lot of things about you, that you are not down to earth. You're already thinking that you are up on top. So having that ground, down to earth mindset helps you to grow too. That's my mindset. I only tell people who listens to, So I don't give suggestions or who thinks that he's better. I'm not gonna tell them.
Not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it, So only like ego is the main thing I would say. Both yes, in a different mindset too, thinking about what makes the standards as well too. Standard is the main thing in a barber shop. If you're not setting the standards and all the barbers are not doing a team where they are not helping, then it says a lot of things that the owner has to do.
Establish. That makes sense. Let's get fun here, bro.
But
You ready for this one? All right. T-pop clippers or a style crack?
Dude.
Because, yo, I don't like T-pop at all, bro. But he's a genius in terms of when it comes to
100%
marketing.
marketing, bro.
Like, he's associated himself.
Why don't you like T-pop?
It's just because, like, every comment, something's negative. So I'm like, yo, fuck this guy.
But that's how you.
That's what I mean.
That's how you
So
get.
smart.
This has you real pissed off. Boy.
No, I love that clipper, bro.
Yeah?
I love his.
Which flipper did you use?
T-pops, bro.
Yeah, which one though? Like I know he
the
has a
play,
few.
right?
Yeah, okay, the
The
plate.
Slade, I have two of them. That's the best one I have ever used. I have used Jaden.
That's crazy. You're not sponsored by them, are you?
We both, all of us, dude.
Yeah,
All
go
of
go
us,
on
we
every
have-
station. There is a T-pop city.
Set of two.
Yeah,
after
this, I might have to get sponsored by
No,
those guys.
I feel like to be honest with you, everyone I've been talking to in the industry now, they really like say a lot about T-Bob. I have never used them yet, and honestly, I eventually will get a pair of clippers.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because that guy used to be a barber too, right?
Yeah.
So he introduced stuff that people was struggling with, having the liver not
Yeah, he made sure his quality was there.
That's it.
Like he doesn't care about selling quantity.
Yes.
He's selling quality.
Yes.
And that, as a barber, like if you're selling quality over quantity,
That's it.
that's when
Bro.
you can charge the 75, 80.
Bro, thinking about the JRL Lamborghini Clippers. I felt it the other day. I went to Empire to check it out, right? Bro, it's shitty.
The Lamborghini clippers?
It's shitty, bro.
Why are Lamborghini making clippers, bro? Stick to cars, man.
It's shit. It was like the collab. So if you feel it in your hands, you can see it's a fucking $50 clipper.
You're paying for the logo of the
Bought it from
Lamborghini.
Timu.
It is actually feels like a Timu.
Yo, I bought a Timu clipper actually, and it wasn't that bad.
I compared it. I had the T-pop in one hand and I had the Lamborghini in one hand.
Yeah.
Bro, T-pop was much better.
Wow.
The Lamborghini was only better because they have the new motor in it.
Does it go when you turn? I don't know. Because if it don't do that, I don't fucking want it, bro.
What was that old motor that Diego has on his cape?
It has a vector motor.
Yeah, vector motor.
Higher RPMs, but you can go on Temu right now, type in VGR.
Yeah, we're disposing all the Calgary.
Bro, you can find a 9,000 RPM fucking.
Yeah,
clipper,
so
dog.
it looks cool. Yes, having a Lamborghini mindset.
That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the Lamborghini logo and
so crazy.
Lager JR.
It's like almost $500 clipper and trimmer, right?
Branding at the end of the day.
It's
man.
on
They've established themselves right in the market.
That's what it is.
So now I want to bring that up. So JRL's established themselves. Wall has been around. Between those two, who would you have? JRL versus Wall.
JRL. Yeah, JRL, I would say.
JRL?
So, for sure.
I have a magic clip and I love the magic clip. Yo, what's
the old Well, honestly, Magic
That's
this.
why you're struggling.
Yeah,
with
Magic
fades,
never fired back in the day, bro.
Wait, what you say?
That's why you're struggling with fades, bro.
Yeah, what you doing? You doing anything?
being nice to you, man?
I'm just kidding you.
Oh, man.
I'm a T-pop, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I might have to switch it up. My
Take one of his. Oh, it's on the house from Mark.
No, get the T-pops. Go. You'll like it.
Okay, I'll
No,
try
you
it
know
out.
what you gotta do? You gotta get a bunch of clippers and you gotta do the bald line with one clipper.
out of it
Another clipper with the 0 line, another clipper with the 0.5, another clipper with the line.
You gotta
Every clipper
trial
is
in there,
different.
right? Everyone. Like I love Stylecraft too, but that was like my first.
No,
clipper, bro.
Stylecraft is amazing. Fire. I love the ergos. The ergos,
That was
the
my
way
first,
they shape.
bro. I'm telling you, yeah.
So light, so clean, and like, man, they hit bulk really
I
well.
love the savers, the Stylecraft
Savers?
saver clippers.
Yeah.
Same thing. Still T-pop.
Sick. Okay.
Because the feeling and the when it's on, and the voice is not very quiet, it's easier to trim. I don't like loud clippers, bro.
Yo, I hate loud clippers too, especially if you don't like, even if they're loud and then you don't oil them, they're even louder. Like,
Yeah, think about that. You cut
Then it sounds like a Lamborghini.
yeah, then it's gonna sound
Sound like a Lamborghini, bro. It was loud too. Yeah, it felt like it was super plastic, like full plastic body. If you drop it, it's gonna break.
It's literally the new JRLs, like the old ones that they have. It's slap the Lambo sticker.
Yeah, just the shape is different. That's it.
crazy.
Well, now you know.
They used to have those Ferrari ones too. But anyways,
But JRL hit us low.
Okay, let's get. So we had it fun. Let's start getting deep now.
more serious or
Yeah,
deep?
let's get really deep.
What's
Let's
deep?
get into the feelings.
Okay.
And maybe not. But this is our final segment.
Okay.
We call this the big three.
Okay.
So if you want to start off the first question.
Yeah. First question is, what moment humbled you the most in your journey of opening up your shop,
And both of you can answer this.
or even maybe the journey of barbering? Like,
I think what humbled me specifically was I fell in love with being a barber more when I was selling cars. Because I used to sell cars.
Oh shit.
Being stuck in a cubicle, I would literally sit on the computer, watch skin fades all day, watch Chris Bossio all day, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I love this. This is what I want to do. Ended up quitting. Then became a barber, man. I think
Big
wait,
trouble.
even though you're a barber, you're still a salesman. You're still selling yourself.
it is sales, bro.
Also-
Customer service is key.
Yeah, that skill set.
I'm not saying I'm not thankful for being in sales. I learned a lot
Mhm.
from all the guys that I worked with prior, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good skill set to have.
It's a different type of sales for sure.
Mhm.
though. It's more genuine. You know what I mean? When you cut somebody's hair, it's genuine because you can feel the
You're building
act-
relationships.
Exactly. You're building relationships. Same thing with cars, but
Mhm.
cars, you're not getting reoccurring customers.
There's a lot.
You can't lie about it.
Mhm.
But cars, you still got to be like cold calling all day.
Yeah.
Imagine us as barbers, we're cold calling our clients. Yo, come get a haircut this week, bro. I'm going,
Bro,
bro.
this Honda guys are still calling me or texting me, bro. I sold the car 2 years ago.
Yo, we gotta start cold calling our clients. Yo.
Right, man. You might have to introduce something new,
Shut
right?
up. That's one of the clients actually told me that he was like, honestly, sometimes I just forget, or I'm so busy that I don't even know when to come in for a haircut. He's like, so like, yo, just
But
text
it's
me
So
something.
follow up
now-
is there you go.
Yeah, there's a system now that we are using too.
Or rebooks, right?
Rebookings, bookings, or you shoot out a text to. They're still in your system. Shoot out a text to everybody.
Yeah.
One text will have them to remind them that you should.
These are the business secrets, bro.
Dude, that's the AI marketing tools now that they have.
It's not even AI, dude. That's
not.
what me and this guy do. Like for our system, like we shout out everyone in our system for Valentine's Day. It's coming up.
Yeah.
15% off all products.
Nice. 15%.
Yeah, if you wanna buy some, bro,
Oh,
it's right there.
Oh, do for me on the spot now on camera. Thanks, bro.
It's easier to do like
I
a
wanna-
mass or also right?
yeah, definitely. And it automatically does the text for you. right?
Exactly.
Okay. Dude, what software is that? Like, what are you using?
Squire.
The Squire does that now too, yeah? Is that an actual feature, or like, do they just...
It's part of the package that we
Okay.
have.
It's like a collaboration or something like that. You send out the text to all the clients, but it's only the recurring clients that are still coming from, let's say.
Yeah.
But we started using it 4 months ago. The more longer it will be, the more clients it will be coming to that we can send the text out.
What was the moment that humbled you the most in your journey?
Humbled me the most. Taking a risk, I took a risk to be a barber. I quit my job. I was making 60K a year, had a stable income coming in. I took a risk. I quit my job, went back to India just for a little vacation, cleared my mind. Came back after 3 months, started from scratch. Right? It's very hard to find a job nowadays up here. So, but I was like, okay, I want to take a risk. I had some savings.
Yeah.
That humbled me the most was when after 6 months or 7 months, I was already making good enough money than as compared to in my older years, right?
Nice.
So that humbled me, right? That I have put in the work. I should be thankful to the God, I always do that. Vinny knows it very well that I always, every morning, I like to meditate and everything. That is a humble thing for me to remind myself where I started.
Yeah.
I came here as an international student, 8 years ago, bro.
Mhm.
I had nothing. I'm owning a business and sitting in the shop that me and
I
Vinny-
started from the dirt.
But think about that. I don't have no family here.
Yeah.
My parents are back home. We have business back home, but I wanted to do my something home. And I have achieved the ladder, and I don't have something to stop. I'm just gonna keep growing.
It's just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, right?
God got a great plan,
That's it.
So,
This making sure that you are thankful enough to everything that you have got, because you would be ending up somewhere in the ditch too. That if you're not thankful enough,
I might start praying after this.
I just want to
say, I know you do already.
I just wanted to ask you about one question though. Like, well, you said when you're like, I went back to India during that time you left your job, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have always wondered what it'd be like to go to different countries and see barbering. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be cool. I would love to see what it'd be like, the traditions of like cutting hair in India. Because when I went to Afghanistan, when I was like 15, I went to this barbershop and this dude gave me a full cut with a straight razor.
That's crazy.
And it was like the craziest thing.
Full cut with a straight razor.
Yes,
bro.
but the good thing was he did that. He had technique. But the bad thing was he made me look like I was from fucking like 2-year-old kid with like a side part.
Hey,
Bro, it was like
you got
the
that prison
funniest-
cut, bro.
Bro, I came back looking like a Afghani boy from childhood.
Because every country has their own culture of barbering. If you go to Afghanistan, that's what they do. You go to India, they're more good with the Caesar trims.
Yeah.
They're very good with the Caesars, but they're not good with the clippers. There is getting more Western culture up there. That's what I have seen. They have the clippers, but it's not good enough to do a fade, or they're still not.
So they're not getting like Starcraft, the wall.
They're not getting anything.
They're not getting
until
that stuff, eh?
because this is all Western stuff.
They got the Timu specials though.
Yeah,
They have the
like,
Temu
yeah, it
specials?
was special.
Bro, get on Timu.
Yo,
Bro,
let me-
last time I went to India was a couple of years ago for my buddy's marriage, and then I got a cut from there. Buddy has the freaking Stylecraft Instinct copy.
Oh yeah.
I had the trimmer and the clipper, and he did the good on the side, but he fucked up the back.
Bro, this guy he FaceTimed me in the shop, bro.
That's so funny.
I'm like, yo, RK, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting a cut. I'm like, bro, what do you mean you're getting a cut? Cut your own hair.
Dude, that's
Bro,
what
this guy showed me. I was like, bet,
It
I'm
messed
so
your shit
sorry.
up or what?
Dude, it was messed
What
up.
he did, I will explain you. They just start the transition, and they don't do the rest of the fade. They just do it with the scissors. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's like a hard line and then just like
Blade
folds
open
up.
with clipper over comb.
Yeah.
that's what he did. That's what he did, and he didn't use no trimmer to line it up. He used straight razor.
Oh, you ever seen that guy on Instagram? He like goes around India or something like that, and he's like cutting like really poor kids' hairs. Or he's like spraying them on the faces. Like,
Oh, dude,
it's like rubbing their hair. He's like cutting their
has a
hair.
nasty comb in his head too.
He's like grabbing this kid's head. Most aggressive shit I've ever seen.
But
It's really entertaining.
yeah, every country has their. If you go to UK side, they have very similar concept as Western too. Europe is very good. There's a lot of good barbers in Europe as well. Canada, US.
Dude, I would love to go to places like Korea. You know what I mean? Like I heard Korea's like
Their standards are really high.
yeah, their hairstyling, barbering industry has just grown so much. Even like their hair shows are crazy out there.
A lot of like the influence is from that area right now, especially with longer hair.
Guess
Both
what?
sides.
All the clippers are coming from those countries too.
So dominating them. They
That's
know what
it.
they know what they're doing.
That's it. But same thing. It's all about every culture has their own styles. If you go to Japan or China, they have their own styles. You know.
But do you think those guys would be able to cut somebody like with art texture hair?
100%.
Because sometimes I feel like
I think they would be as long as you explain it to them. But communication issue. If they can't speak English, how are you gonna communicate? You show them a picture. That would be one easier way to communicate.
for sure.
But yeah, that like I said, every country has their culture, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Next question. Yeah, we got two more. If your mindset could go viral, what would the caption be?
Always have a student mindset, right? We're all learning, we're all growing.
Yeah.
We can always improve on a daily, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Always a student. Yeah.
Definitely, you gotta stay planted, stay grounded, stay humble,
Yeah.
right? Invest in yourself, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing. Invest in yourself. Continue to learn.
Yeah.
That's a pretty deep question to ask, though. To me,
It's just a caption. You know what I mean?
caption.
Sorry,
Like,
mine was
That's
like
a lot.
30 captions.
Just a caption. Like
I
hashtag
know it makes sense.
RK's the shit. You know, like
No, bro.
I already his caption, bro, would be blowout specialist. On God's side. I'm not even lying.
But same thing. I just do it because I don't care. You know.
No, you do care, but
I care about the money part.
Yeah,
You know, if it's bringing me money,
100%.
that's all I get.
Yo,
My caption would be keep growing.
I love that.
So that's my
That's nice.
caption.
I think a lot of barbers, I feel like sometimes it's frustrating when they're like, oh, you don't do it because you don't love the game. And it's like, but you do it to make money too. Money is like
It's a
the
byproduct
first
for sure.
priority. Of course, we need to make that to survive.
Yeah,
But it's like, it doesn't mean we don't love the game. We're still here grinding, yo. We're still here doing this. Like,
That's it.
we're still making money off of this, right? And the fact that we can feed ourselves is why we love doing this. You know what I mean? So we love money and we love doing this, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, being a barber, it's not easy. You know, you don't make money if you don't cut.
Yeah.
You don't get no benefits. You don't get. Yes, it's more independent. You to set your schedule. People think that working 5 days, it's much better. You know, but being a barber, you have to be in the shop if you wanna make money. If you take 3 days off and work 4 days, you're not making money. You're just paying your expenses.
You are on your own at that point.
That's it. Unless you do 10 minutes haircuts, and I don't think that's gonna be good, and you will have the consistency with clients.
You that it's a different clientele at that point.
That's it.
I agree. Last question.
So if you could leave a quote etched on every mirror in your barbershop, what would it be?
Tip your barber.
Oh, I like that one.
this guy, that's the best one.
That's the funny one. Hashtag tip.
I'm gonna do that for you, bro.
No, I do get the tips, nice, but the same thing. I just a funny way.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Stay planted.
Stay
They
planted.
planted.
Stay planted.
What about you, RK? You got a serious one?
Any serious one?
No, I think that's.
Hey, bro, that was pretty serious,
That
bro.
one
Make
was
sure you
perfect.
tip our kid, dog.
No, he's
Book advance, bro.
booking at that.
Booking on that. Yeah, because
I
this guy
don't
is
like
busy.
I don't like the last minute bookings. You
Yeah,
know?
this guy's busy, so if you
That's
do
it.
book him, make sure you're booking online.
No, that's true. Those are solid quotes and things. I took a lot from you guys in terms of, what it takes to run a barbershop. The mentality you're supposed to have, student mentality. Honestly, we could go on for longer and
100%.
longer. You know what I mean? I definitely look forward to having another episode down the line, and
Yeah.
whenever it works out. But I think on that note, I think we're good to wrap up. Thank you guys for hosting us in this barbershop, and thank you for having us as, you know, interviewees and such. It was a pleasure having this conversation, and we're just gonna, I guess, if you guys have any last words or anything.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's watching, right?
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you for listening to us
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need a cut, bro,
If you guys need a cut, go to Fades Barbershop. Was it YYC?
YYC.
Fades Barbershop YYC. We'll plug it in here. And then if you guys are in the Calgary, Bonas area, Northwest, yeah, just come on over here.
Yeah.
With that being said,
The only thing I was gonna say is let's make sure we clap on beat this.
so we don't need to clap.
Can we clap?
No.
Okay, sure. He's a dancer, bro. Come on.
Come on,
Okay, bye. All
Are
right.
we done though?
Yeah, let's go.
5, 6, 7, 8.